So a couple of things that pollute that. We talked about making things up. Another one is unwritten rules. Every organization has written rules. We all know them. We don't always all follow them, but we all know this is what we do and this is how we go about doing it. Those things, while they impact culture, are not your culture. When you have a process in your HR manual that says this is how you handle a problem, you go to your supervisor and all that, that can be cultural, but it generally is not. It's something that you do to help things move forward and handle issues. The culture part is created mostly by the unwritten rules. And a lot of times those unwritten rules are hidden. The only way that you know that they exist is if you break them. And when you break them, make no mistake, you will be punished by the team or the organization. You may not be punished by a written reprimand or something like that, but you are going to feel the wrath of parts of the team. One of the great examples that I find in most workplaces is you don't take team problems to the boss. So a new employee will look at the employee handbook and they'll say, okay, I see a problem. So they go talk to their manager. Now they've broken the unwritten rule. Everybody knows that they've broken the unwritten rule, so they're going to be punished. So they're ostracized, they're told they're not trusted. There are some people who will be out and out hostile towards them. The challenge for that is that every time that person now goes into the office to talk, doesn't matter what it is, everyone on the team will assume they're breaking that unwritten rule. So every time they'll be punished. Sometime down the road, you've been there now 6 months, and you may ask someone, hey, why am I struggling? Why do you guys not like me or whatever? And then someone will tell you, well, you broke our rule of going to talk to the boss about problems and we keep that inside. There are many times those unwritten rules create such a negative work environment that someone ends up leaving. Even though they might be a productive part of the team, it might be the perfect place for them, but that unwritten rule has done that. That's what makes them so dangerous, is a lot of times they're created for a positive reason, and they're usually to protect an individual or a team. The challenge with that, it's very easy because they're not written for a member of the team or multiple members to steal that unwritten rule and corrupt it for their own use. And that is usually what happens over time. I have seen unwritten rules that are generations deep in a workplace. When you dig into it, you find out that someone 45 years ago had this rule because they had a bad boss and they needed to protect themselves. And it got corrupted in the third generation and was handed off as the corrupted unwritten rule to the rest of the team, and it continues. The reason I talk about that so much is because that is cultural. That becomes your culture. When we talk about diversity, when we talk about people not being welcome in workplace, for whatever reason, you can almost always track it back to an unwritten